What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, Thrash Maniac 99, continues to review upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016, and today, I'm going to be reviewing quite a few albums today to kind of catch up on what I've been missing. But today's first review is going to be the only album from April 29th I never got to check out until now, the newest release from British hardcore pioneers Discharge and their album End of Days. Discharge is a hardcore punk band that formed in 1977 and are one of the pioneers of hardcore punk, as well as bringing in the thrashy kind of drum beat, the D beat as it's called sometimes. And they are considered a huge influence on future genres such as crust punk, grindcore, black metal, thrash metal, death metal even. Discharge is a highly important band to metal that's not a metal band. Well, for the most of their career, there have been shades of the band that were considered metal, like during the latter portion of the 1980s and early 1990s, they went into a more heavy metal sound, or even a thrash metal sound to some extent. But it's been in recent years, ever since the 2000s, they've kind of become more of a crossover band, with still some of those shades of hardcore from the 80s period. I mean, influential records such as Why and Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing, I believe is what it's called, and the Never Again EP. Those are highly important albums to hardcore and as well as metal. So, let's take a look and see what they have for us this time with End of Days. I want to start off by talking about the opening track, the longest song of the album at 3 minutes, New World Order. Holy crap, it's unrelenting, it's fast and furious, so much fury going on within this track, both musically and lyrically. Discharge has always been a band that's been all about the social political commentary of the times of when they were writing these songs. Like in the 80s, they'd be writing songs during the Ronald Reagan era. Now they're writing about what's been going on in the world today. Boy, has there been a lot. And this song kind of is a huge political rant at how far the world is or has come to a bunch of battles and shootings and stuff like that, and the corruption of governments. So, very thought-provoking track lyrically, but musically, like I said, it's unrelenting, and there you go. The next track I want to talk about is the title track, End of Days, and it starts off with like a radio transmission beginning with some voices, and then it gets into the song, and kind of like New World Order, more unrelenting fury within the music, lyrically talking about how the planet may not survive another couple hundred years if what we're doing keeps going with, the gun problems and, battles against terrorism and a bunch of songs like that, bunch of things like that happening in the world today. And Discharge, like I said before, are all about expressing their opinions about political issues of when they write these records. The next song I want to talk about is Killing Yourself to Live, which was the second longest song of the album at nearly 3 minutes long. And at first I thought it was, from the title of the song, I thought it was going to be a Black Sabbath cover, but it was an original song, and lyrically I thought it was a little bit odd, if I could put it that way. I thought the lyrics to this song were a bit off, in my opinion. But the music itself, again, unrelenting fury. That is what Discharge is all about. The next song I want to talk about is The Terror Alert. While the song itself, the music behind it was kind of inconsistent, lyrically, it was thought-provoking. Basically, them trying to point out that terrorism's funded by countries and stuff like that, and also trying to warn people of any future terrorist attacks and stuff like that. So I thought lyrically it was intriguing, musically, not so much. But the last track on the album is Accessories by Molotov Part 2, which was the second part of a song they did back in 2002, I believe, on their self-titled album. And what a way to close out a crazy album as far as the speed and the aggression behind it. So, with that said, Discharge has been one of the most legendary bands in underground music ever since the latter part of the 1970s when they were doing early demos. But then once the 80s rolled around, then they became highly important. Not only to punk, to hardcore, but to metal as well because of those early records. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't see genres like crust punk, grindcore, black metal, death metal, thrash metal, alternative metal even, and other genres that were influenced by hardcore as well as what Discharge was doing. So overall with this record, while you had a lot of great highlights on this album, for me personally, I felt this album lacked consistency. I thought it was a very inconsistent record. Like, once you get through a couple tracks and then you get to something that you may not be 100% sold on, which is what I was feeling on a bunch of tracks, such as Raped and Pillaged, False Flag Entertainment, that kind of kept those repetitive lyric lines going that I didn't really think was all that great, if you ask me. But it doesn't deny the fact that this is still a solid release. However, because of its inconsistency, I would probably give this a 79 out of 100. Not a bad album. It's actually a decent release, an enjoyable release. Definitely better than, say, Asking Alexandria or Drowning Pool or Entombed AD for sure. So, if you're a fan of hardcore crossover music, this is definitely for you. For me, it was enjoyable, but like I said, it just lacked consistency in my opinion. But thank you guys for watching this review. I have a couple more planned out for later once I check out a couple of records. I'm thinking about doing reviews of Destruction, Flotsam and Jetsam, and perhaps Nonpoint. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace.